Mama, I remember when I was a kid and I used to always ask you, I said, Mama, why we don't never eat no steak? She said, you want some steak? I said, yes, ma'am. So she said, I'll fix you some steak with some onions and gravy. How that sound? I said, that sounds good. She said, mm-hmm. She went inside the refrigerator and she grabbed a pack of meat. And she said, well, here's the steak. And I said, oh, okay. So then she'll grab this steak that she covered in flour and seasoning. And she'll lay that into that hot oil. And she'll fry it and on both sides for a couple of seconds till it's good and brown. They said, you ready for this steak? I said, yes, ma'am. It sure smells good. She said, mm-hmm. So then she'll grab her onion. Then she'll cut her onion up into little slices. And I'd be like, Mama, that steak sure look funny. She said, mm-hmm. So then she'll go ahead and grab her onions and she'll put that into that hot oil that she fried that steak in. And then she'll go ahead and add a little bit flour to that. And she say, we finna make some gravy now. I said, ooh, we finna have some gravy with our steak. And she'd be like, mm-hmm. So she'll go ahead and take her spatula and she'll go ahead and scoot that onion around in that flour, and then she'll season it down with a little bit more salt, a little pepper, and then she'll keep stirring, and then she'll pour that water into that onion and flour mixture, and then she'll take her spatula and she'll press it down, and it'll thicken up, and then she'll add a little bit more water to get to the right consistency that she like, and then she'll season it down with a little bit more Cajun seasoning, and she said, that gravy just about right now. So I said, it smells good. She said, yes, So then she'll grab her steak that she done chopped up, and she'll put it inside of that gravy, and then she'll stir it around, and she'll just let it simmer and get real good. She said, this gonna be good and tender. You like tender steak? I said, yes, ma'am. She said, So she went on ahead and grabbed a slice of bread, and she scooted that gravy and steak on that slice of bread. And she said, you ready for your steak and gravy sandwich? I'd be like, yes, ma'am. So she'll go ahead and slide me my steak and gravy sandwich, and I ate it, and I'd be like, Mama, this steak sure tastes good. She said, So then she'll grab her plate, and she'll grab some rice, and she'll take her steak and put it over the rice, and then she'll grab some greens, and she'll put it right beside her rice with steak and gravy. I'm like, Mama, what my rice and greens and onion tomato with my steak? She'll be like,